Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is not just money, it's a ticket to unimaginable wealth, and today we're diving into a coin so deceptively ordinary that millions of people have held it, spent it, or ignored it without a second thought. Yet hidden among these everyday pieces is a version of the 1974 Jefferson nickel that has stunned collectors and insiders alike with a jaw-dropping value rumored to reach as high as $60 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single 5-cent coin that could rival the price of luxury estates and private islands. And what makes it even more thrilling is that examples of this coin may still be quietly sitting in jars, drawers, or old collections waiting to be discovered, completely unnoticed by the people who own them. But here's the twist: not every 1974 nickel is valuable, only a very specific, rare variation holds this unbelievable potential. And before we reveal exactly what makes it so special, stick with me, because later in this journey, we'll uncover another coin that might make this one look almost ordinary, and trust me, you won't want to miss that. Now let's step back into 1974, a year when the United States Mint was producing Jefferson nickels in massive quantities, billions of them flowing through the economy as everyday currency, designed with the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and his historic home Monticello on the reverse. Nothing flashy, nothing unusual at first glance. Just another coin people used for vending machines and pocket change, but as history has shown time and time again, it's often the most common looking coins that hide the rarest secrets, and in this case, a combination of minting anomalies, microscopic design variations, and production quirks turned a handful of these nickels into some of the most sought-after treasures in numismatic history. One of the key factors lies in what collectors call mint errors, and the 1974 Jefferson nickel is rumored to include extremely rare off-metal strikes, meaning a few coins may have been struck on the wrong type of metal planchet, creating a unique composition that immediately sets them apart from the billions of standard nickels. Imagine a nickel that somehow ended up being struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, resulting in differences in weight, color, and even sound when dropped on a surface. These anomalies are like fingerprints of the minting process, each one telling a story of a moment when something went slightly off track. And those moments are exactly what collectors chase. But it doesn't stop there. Another highly desirable variation involves what experts describe as double die errors, where parts of the design, especially the lettering or the portrait of Jefferson, appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. To the untrained eye it might look like a minor blur, but to a seasoned collector it's a sign of rarity and value, and in extreme cases, these doubling effects can be dramatic enough to be seen without magnification, turning an ordinary coin into a headline making discovery. Now picture this scenario: someone cleaning out an old family home, stumbling across a dusty jar of coins that hasn't been touched in decades, casually sorting through nickels without realizing that one of them could be worth more than everything else in the house combined. It sounds unbelievable, but stories like this have happened before, and they keep happening, which is why collectors never stop searching. Auctions over the years have only fueled the legend of the 1974 Jefferson nickel, with rare specimens attracting intense bidding wars. And while not every sale reaches astronomical levels, the whispers and rumors surrounding the highest-end examples have pushed this coin into almost mythical status. The idea that a nickel, something most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the ground, could be worth tens of millions creates a powerful sense of mystery and urgency. And that's exactly why you should keep watching, because coming up next is another coin that takes this concept to a whole new level. And trust me, if you think this is impressive, what's ahead might completely change how you look at your spare change forever. But before we get there, let's dig even deeper into what makes this 1974 nickel so fascinating. Beyond errors and variations, condition plays a massive role in determining value. Coins that have been preserved in near-perfect state, with sharp details, original luster, and no signs of wear, are exponentially more valuable than those that have circulated for years. And when you combine pristine condition with a rare error, that's when you enter the realm of record-breaking prices. grading services meticulously examine these coins under magnification, assigning them scores that can make the difference between a few dollars and a life-changing fortune. And here's where things get even more interesting. Some collectors believe that there are still undiscovered varieties of the 1974 nickel waiting to be identified, hidden among the countless coins sitting in collections around the world, which means the story isn't finished yet. New discoveries could still emerge, pushing values even higher and adding new chapters to this already incredible narrative. And let's not forget the psychological factor, the thrill of the hunt, the idea that anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon one of these rare nickels at any moment. That sense of possibility is what keeps collectors engaged and constantly searching. It's not just about the money, it's about the story, the history, and the excitement of finding something truly extraordinary in the most ordinary place. And speaking of extraordinary, I need you to stay with me because the next coin we're about to explore carries its own shocking secret, one that could make even seasoned collectors do a double take. And while I won't reveal its value just yet, let's just say it's the kind of number that makes headlines and turns everyday people into legends overnight. So don't go anywhere, because if this 1974 Jefferson nickel has already blown your mind, what's coming next might leave you speechless. And remember, the coins you overlook today could be the treasures everyone is chasing tomorrow. Next, 2013 D Jefferson nickel. Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion, and that's exactly what makes the 2013 D Jefferson nickel one of the most shocking hidden treasures in modern circulation, because while it looks fresh, modern, and almost too new to be valuable, there are whispers in the collector world about a version of this coin that has reached an astonishing $70 million in estimated value, turning a simple 5-cent piece into something that rivals the rarest artifacts in history. And the craziest part is that this coin is not ancient, it's not buried in some lost treasure chest, it's a modern coin that could still be sitting in someone's wallet, purse, or coin jar right now, completely unnoticed. And if you thought the previous coin was unbelievable, this one takes things into an entirely different dimension. So stay locked in, because every second you watch could be the difference between recognizing a fortune and unknowingly spending it. Now let's rewind to 2013, when the United States Mint in Denver was producing Jefferson nickels with updated precision and modern minting technology. These coins carried the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson, redesigned slightly in the early 2000s to give a more forward-facing portrait, paired with the Monticello reverse that had been refined for clarity and detail. Billions of these coins entered circulation, and just like always, most people treated them as nothing more than spare change. But beneath that ordinary appearance lies the possibility of extremely rare anomalies that can turn a common coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. One of the most talked about factors surrounding the 2013 D nickel is the potential for experimental planchets, a phenomenon where a coin is struck on a metal blank not intended for that denomination. And while the mint keeps tight control over its processes, history has shown that mistakes do happen, and when they do, they create coins that shouldn't exist, coins that instantly become legends in the collecting world. Imagine holding a nickel that feels slightly different, maybe lighter or heavier, maybe with a subtle change in color, something that doesn't quite match the others. Most people would ignore it, but a trained eye would recognize that something extraordinary is going on, and that's exactly how some of the most valuable coins in history have been discovered. And here's where it gets even more intense. There are also reports of ultra-rare die variations tied to the 2013 D issue, including microscopic doubling on the lettering and subtle shifts in the design alignment. These are the kinds of details that only become visible under magnification, but when confirmed, they can elevate a coin's status dramatically, turning it from a common piece into a collector's dream. And the rarity of these variations combined with the relatively recent date creates a perfect storm of intrigue, because unlike older coins that have been heavily searched, modern coins still hold the potential for undiscovered treasures, meaning the hunt is very much alive right now, not decades ago, not centuries ago, but today, in real time. And that's what makes this so exciting, because you don't need to dig through ancient ruins or attend elite auctions to find one of these. you just need to pay attention to the coins already passing through your hands. Now imagine this scenario. Someone receives change at a store, tosses the coins into a jar, and years later decides to take a closer look, only to realize that one of those nickels is unlike the others, that it carries a subtle but crucial difference that sets it apart. That moment of realization is what every collector dreams of, and it's what keeps the search alive. Auction records and private sales have only added fuel to the mystery of the 2013 D nickel, with high-end specimens and rumored unique errors generating intense interest among elite collectors. And while not every detail is publicly confirmed, the sheer possibility of a modern coin reaching such staggering value has captured the imagination of people around the world, and it serves as a powerful reminder that rarity doesn't always come from age. Sometimes it comes from the unexpected, from the mistakes, from the tiny details that most people overlook. And that's exactly why you need to keep your eyes open, because the next coin you receive could be the one that changes everything. And as we reach the end of this incredible journey, think about this: how many coins have passed through your hands without a second glance? How many opportunities might have slipped by simply because they looked ordinary? The truth is, treasures don't always shine. Sometimes they blend in, waiting for the right person to notice them, and maybe, just maybe, that person is you, because in the world of coin collecting, the line between ordinary and extraordinary is thinner than you think, and once you start looking closely, you may never see pocket change the same way again.